Hele Metallen Nati, vanavond hebben we het over België. Het is gewoon goed.
Hail Metal Nation! This is Podcast Them Down. I'm Tim coming to you from the black void of nothingness. And joining me is Dave and Matt. And Matt is going to talk about his recent trip to Belgium. You were supposed to record stuff on site, but you said you didn't.
Well, that's not entirely true. I did start recording an episode in Belgium, but I realized that I was loudly trashing Belgium in my Belgian hotel room at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and thought
everyone was there.
Maybe I should wait until I got back to Los Estados Unidos.
Well, that's what happened.
I really expressed
that's what
my feelings.
That's what happened to former Podcast Them Down host Ethan, who did that in Pyongyang.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
Right.
true. I mean, I was talking to Ethan's parents the other day, and we really hope, maybe this is the year that we can bring him back. I don't know if he's living, but, his body deserves to be in America at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I told him it was
but
a
that's
bad
neither here
idea.
nor there.
Told him it was a bad idea to go to Pyongyang.
I mean, in his defense, it turned out to be pretty metal.
About as metal as it gets.
Ethan just won't listen. This is very Ethan of him.
So that's so easy. We keep saying that. Like, you pulled an Ethan. But the other idea I had was I was going to walk the streets of Antwerp where I was and just kind of record the episode as I was walking, much like my hero Matt Hatman and you did in Ocean City.
Right. That's how I would do it. Yes.
I mean, that's how I would do it. But there was another technical issue.
Yeah.
Which was I couldn't get video for that. So then I was imagining what the video presentation would be. And number two, English knowledge in Antwerp especially is very high. So again, I was worried about being hit with a bicycle, hit with one of those like zippy electric scooters.
Muscles, perhaps.
Yeah, like have a handful of diamonds thrown at me. Get like a doner kebab launched at me.
Hang on. Are you telling me they have doner kebab in Belgium?
Oh,
well,
absolutely.
I mean, they have Turkish restaurants.
There's a difference.
I mean, it's not. I know you're thinking true doner kebab is German. I hate to break it to you, Dave.
Turkish German, sir.
Okay, sure. The Turkish German.
The Turks in Germany and the Turks in Belgium are using different shawarmas.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're the same Turks, but that's neither here nor there.
It's not the Turk. It's the location of the Turk. At any rate.
Anyway, but I should tell you that one of the most metal highlights is that I found one of my friends is actually in a Turkish folk metal band. And I'm not going to reveal the name because I forgot it. But I promised him that we would interview him when his album comes out. They're working on an album. And so that was a genuinely metal find.
He needs to send us a promotional kit.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with him
prior to the interview, so we can do a metal promo and then the interview.
Are they
a hashtag in PR there, Dave?
Are they based? Huh? Are they based in Belgium?
No. He's based in Istanbul, and actually he had to fly back because he was had a concert or something the next day.
That's pretty metal.
Yeah. So I mean that's probably the metalist Belgium got, and it was a Turkish guy. Just kind of spoiler alert. But I was thinking, instead of just me telling you how metal Belgium was, maybe you could ask me some questions, and I could explain the metalness of Belgium, perhaps.
Now, before we get into that, I'd like to let Metal Nation know that on my honeymoon with my brand new lady wife in 2019. We traveled from France into the Low Countries and spent some time in Belgium.
Mhm.
And we did some fairly metal things there. So
Did you go to the French parts of Belgium or the other parts?
yes, indeed, we did.
See, that's the difference.
So we were in Bruges as well as
speak French there.
a day in whatever that terrible capital of theirs is. Come on now.
Bruges?
No,
Brussels.
I'm just an ugly American that can't remember Brussels. Yeah. So we had an interesting time at Valhalla Metal Bar.
Okay, and that sounds pretty metal.
Yeah, it was pretty metal. We can get into that later. But depending on how Matthew chooses to approach the metalness of Belgian, hospitality or food or, general ambiance, I intend to oppose him in debate for the general entertainment of the listening public.
I appreciate that. Also, while Dave was telling that personal story, I've been able to find the name of my friend's band, and that is Metaphoria, Metaforya. They're a black/death metal band. They formed in 2012 in Istanbul. Check out their Instagram. Check out their Metaforya, Metaphoria.
Oh, they're not on
new
Metal
album
Archives.
coming out.
We should fix that.
I think we should. I think maybe I'll create a Metal Archives account just to put them on there.
I feel like we're on the precipice of another Metal Archives argument about what
and while I'm there, maybe I'll make an entry for body count as well.
No, they're black death metal. They wouldn't be rejected from Metal Archives. There's nothing to argue about here.
Yeah, no, that's true. Okay, so I was in Antwerp. So Antwerp, I believe, is the second city of Belgium. Those of you who... Antwerp is actually, according to this, the largest city in Belgium. It's certainly the capital of the Flemish region, which means they speak Dutch or Flemish there. If you speak French, they will punch you in the face. So do not speak French in Antwerp. Inexplicably, one of my companions kept trying to speak to people in French and got very dirty looks. And I kept saying, we're in the capital of Flemish nationalism. You really should stop doing that. And he's like, Belgium is a bilingual country.
Yeah, speak English, idiot.
I don't know.
That's what Michelle and I did.
That's pretty metal. How mad they get when you don't meet their expectation that you wouldn't know if you're not from there.
Another great thing about Flemish in general, and I think the whole kind of Nederlands indigenous languages, is that they're close enough to English that the drunker you get, the more you're able to speak
and understand. It's true.
Yeah, it's sort of amazing. So when you're lucid, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? But all of a sudden, ein Mann in ein Frau, it's like, oh, I know what the fuck that is.
Matt, I think that you are like me in your ability to take up languages. I don't know if that's normal for everybody, but when I get drunk, case in point, at Blind Guardian, one of the guys there that we had been hanging out with happened to have worked with a Swedish company and spoke fairly decent Swedish. And at the end of the show, after we were all nice and drunk, he and I had a nice little conversation in Swedish. I don't speak Swedish.
Mm-hmm.
I speak decent Norwegian, gutter Swedish, but I think there's something in us that unlocks our linguistic potential when we drink.
I mean, that is true and untrue. It's certainly true with Indo-European languages.
Well, sure.
Korean, as I can attest to, does not get much better when you drink. And in fact, it gets kind of scary because you're like, wait, what? But Dutch, Germanic languages, Nordic languages, I think that's fine. Now, maybe the best way to talk about Antwerp is to to bring you through my journey there. And then feel free to stop me along the way. So, like any country where you're traveling to the largest city, there is no direct flight. And in fact, the best way to get to Belgium's largest city, Antwerp, is either to fly to Brussels or fly to Amsterdam.
Ugh.
I've done both of those, but not to go to Antwerp. So I spent a day in Brussels and I enjoyed it. But here's all the things I did.
Okay.
I ate a street waffle.
Okay.
Ooh.
I got
a street waffle or a stroop waffle?
Street waffle.
Oh.
You can get stroop waffles, fake ones, but you can get stroop waffles at Royal Farms, which is a chain of gas stations in Maryland.
and Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And Delaware, unfortunately. And we went out, even though people told us not to, we went and found mannequin piss, which is the little fountain statue of a boy peeing. And they're like, don't waste your time. And then we're like, let's go find it.
It's a peeing statue. What do you mean? We couldn't possibly.
And we got there and we're like, well, that was a waste of time. So, but then we got more waffles. So I had a good 18 or so hours in Brussels. How long were you in Antwerp?
How long was I in Antwerp? Well, I landed there on Monday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was there 4.25 days. And I saw a lot of Antwerp, a lot of long nights, a lot of stumbling through streets. So to get to Antwerp, after you're landing at one of these airports and these actual world cities, you get on the train, and the train's very efficient. It was about, an hour and some change to get there from Brussels. It would have been like less than 2 hours to get there from Amsterdam. I came from Brussels. You get off the train. It's just a commuter train. So there's just like kids going to school. Shady
no place
characters.
for your luggage.
Yeah, there's like a luggage area. Shady characters. There were a bunch of like smart ass college students playing chess when I got on the train after my flight. And I was like, well, this is some bullshit. And then you get off at the train station.
What you should do is get up behind them, and when they make a move, go, ooh.
Ooh. I mean, if I had more than an hour of sleep in the 15-hour period, I probably would have done that. But
what? You didn't get some nice sleep on the plane?
I did not get much nice sleep on the plane.
How is that possible?
I did.
You know what I do?
I think I watched the Spider-Man movie and cried at Andrew Garfield's portrayal, and then I had a few angry minutes of sleep that they got me. I was tired. I was very tired, and it was Belgian Airlines, so
Wait, was that the name of the airline?
It's Brussels Air, I think is the name.
Wow,
it's Eurowings rebranded.
Gotcha.
So you land in Antwerp. You get off the train, and immediately the train station is pretty cool. It's a big classic European train station. There's a big old fancy clock, and you think, holy shit, I'm in Europe. You grab your bags, you trundle yourself up the escalator. I step out into the street, and then you have to play the Price is Right thing.
Oh.
Like the da-da-da-da.
Yeah, okay, so you've stepped out into the street and...
So it's just a street scene. It's gray. It's about 45 degrees. There's bicycles everywhere and chain restaurants. I can see a Five Guys. I can see a McDonald's.
Five Guys?
They do. I was like,
we
wow,
saw one in
you guys really
Brussels.
made it.
Wait, what do they speak? What do they speak there? You said Flemish, right?
So they speak Flemish, which
because I was going to say Fomp Toop, which is the German one.
Yeah, not Fomp Leute.
But they are all in Antwerp, at least they speak English very well, and I think they speak English well just to fuck with the French or the Walloons, right? So I understood, like, looking as I was walking around the city and looking at schools and things. I saw advertisements for the following languages to learn: Dutch, Flemish, English, Latin. There was a distinctive lack of French. It was like the no French zone. The only place I saw French was in the train station and at the zoo, which we'll get to later.
All right, well, real quick. Looks like Brussels Airlines is part of the Star Alliance.
It is part of the Star Alliance, in fact.
So really, you're just flying United. So that sucks.
Yeah.
So, Matthew, did you go to Antwerp and no other Belgian cities? And I ask this because my experience in Brussels with the gray drabness is quite similar.
I had to get back. I had to leave later than I wanted to go to Belgium, and I had to stay not as long as I initially intended. So unfortunately, this time around, I've only made it to Antwerp.
So, one more thing on Brussels Airlines. You go to their webpage, got Brussels Airlines. You scroll down, you can look for a flight. You can find destinations. You can, there's like online check-in, and then right below that is Africa or Passion.
Yikes.
Ouch.
This is not a good look for a Belgian travel.
Under that, it has places that they didn't colonize, but Africa's at the top.
Yeah, there's going to be some of that.
Beijing,
right.
Specifically, they have Beijing, Pisa, Taipei, Manchester, Istanbul, Kuala Lumpur, Santiago de Compostela. I don't even know what that is.
Santiago de Compostela.
That's in Spain.
Yeah, I was going to guess Spain or South America.
Yes.
So.
It's a Catholic country. So maybe
one of them.
Yeah. So I'm kind of nonplussed by the fact that I've just walked into a shopping boulevard that I could find anywhere on the planet. The next thing that sort of bothers me is that the street is full of bicycles and little zippy electronic scooters, which is fine. However, Belgium believes that if you have a small vehicle, you should be able to drive through pedestrians at the highest possible speed.
Now, are you sure? Are you sure you just weren't the Americans standing in the bike lane, which we saw in Amsterdam?
No, because I saw multiple Antwerpans of various ages.
That's
and
different.
Genders.
Mercilessly run
ethnicities
down.
mercifully hit by bicycles.
That's pretty metal, though.
I was more nervous crossing the bike lanes, which were really just squiggly paths drawn in plazas, than I was crossing the actual roadway.
Have you ever been to Cairo?
I've never been to Cairo.
I bet it's
Have
like
you been to Cairo?
No, I bet it's a slow-mo version of that. I have not been to the continent of Africa.
It wasn't, even though I'm used to Southeast
but
Asian
Belgium has
cities,
what?
It's just the sheer number of bicycles and zippy little scooters had no regard for pedestrians. I think they were aiming at some point.
So you mentioned Southeast Asia, which has a long commuter tradition of rickshaws, bicycles, motorbikes, all of these small powered one or two wheeled things. And I don't think Europe, by and large, with the exception of the bicycle in the Netherlands, has that same tradition of experience. And so I think we see in these European cities the same thing we see here in the US, which is drunk fucking morons who have never been on a bicycle or a scooter renting it. They don't need to be drunk. They can just be regular morons.
Possibly, but these were all, again, the operators of these vehicles were also of all ages, ethnicities, and dispositions. I really just think there's some failure of urban design here. Another thing that I was thinking that made these vehicles so much more dangerous is, unlike all the little motos I'm used to, you can hear them coming a mile away. But when they keep zigzagging and going down blind turns and are nearly silent, and hard to gauge how quickly they're moving relative to other kinds of vehicles, you just find yourself like all of a sudden in the path. The other problem is fucking shops and restaurants will just have doors, and there's the fucking bike path. So it's impossible to walk out without fruit, like getting your nose taken off by these goddamn zippy scooters. Okay, so okay, big letdown there. So then the next thing I do is I go to my hotel. Now, luckily,
oh boy! All right,
he's back. He's back.
He's back.
He's back. Okay, so you go to your hotel and look. So did you stay at another hotel that is basically just a multinational conglomerate like the Star Alliance airline?
You mean the Hampton Inn by Hilton? Yes, I did.
Man, interesting.
Well, it didn't say inn though. It was just the Hampton.
Oh, that's interesting.
By Hilton. So I stayed there, and initially I picked it because I wanted something somewhat close to the train station. Because I knew I had to leave early Friday morning, and I didn't want to schlep across the city.
So I think I have a feeling this is gonna go tits up, but I think your logic is solid, is a good choice. Like Hilton, the Hampton is the worst Hilton until they added the loft or whatever.
Yeah,
the shittier one. But
the Homewood Suites.
I've stayed in nice Homewood Suites, but I've also stayed in shitty Homewood Suites.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. How does this backfire?
Okay, well, so
the bike lane goes through your bedroom.
Well, directly through the bedroom.
Essentially, yes.
I'm trying to go to the bathroom.
Not only was my hotel close to the train station, but it would be an overestimation to say that my bedroom was 100 meters from the entrance to the train station.
Now hold on.
No.
Am I to understand that you were in a kind of Blues Brothers meets My Cousin Vinny style sleeping arrangement?
No, and actually this is something of a puzzle to me, because there's also something else that we'll talk about very soon that's also ridiculously close to the train station.
It's a bombing range.
But even though I could walk, like, it would have been not too much of a burden to leave my hotel room, walk out of the main doors, and get into the train station in the rain and not having an umbrella wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Wow.
It's just a hop across the street.
Yeah, like under a colonnade across the street, and there you are.
Yeah, not even under a colonnade. It literally walk out the door, cross the street, you're there.
Wow.
They're also tearing down buildings on either side of the Hampton Inn. So maybe, but I didn't hear any of that construction either. Weirdly, there was also a diamond store in the same physical building, and part of me thought that tearing down the buildings was some part of some like ingenious heist.
Oh yes.
But at least when I was there,
we've got all the permits. It's all in order.
Okay. So I'm there, and basically I just hang out in my room, watch the Queen's funeral.
Real quick. You were on Pelican Street.
I was on Pelican Street.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map. I'm looking at the...
see any pelicans, though.
Yeah, well, they probably... Oh, wow. I'm looking at the street view now. And yeah, it's right the fuck across the street. And that street is tiny.
Okay. However, if you're looking on the Google Street View, see how there's a gray building next to the Hampton Inn?
Or which way?
Look
standing at the Hampton Inn. Do you go left?
Yeah, look at the doors of the Hampton Inn.
Yeah, I'm looking at them.
All right. Now you see
I see the jewelry store.
Okay, the jewelry store is on the left. Look to the right and see that gray building?
No, because there's a big empty hole there.
Oh, it's a hole. Okay, so I was looking at another photo where it's a building. But yeah, that's a hole. Yeah. So, I hadn't slept for a while, so I
that's the bike lane? I see the bike lane, too.
It's fucking nuts.
It's like... There's a very wide sidewalk and just bisecting it right in the middle. Is
like,
the bike
how
lane.
do you... It's impossible to get from one side of the street to the other without traipsing through the bike lane. And then there's the pedestrian boulevard goes that way. I had to cross that fucking bike lane 3 times to go anywhere.
Right. And there are benches... presumably for people to sit on mere inches away from the bike lane.
Thank you. I'm glad we live in a time where my crazy boasts can be corroborated.
No, this is madness. I too am looking at it right now. What the? It's a beautiful train station. Wrought iron painted crimson. Oh my!
If you want to see something in Antwerp, go to the train station.
Yeah.
Don't leave it.
Don't back on that fucking train and go somewhere else. Okay, so I'm there for an academic conference. I walk to the university. That's fine. I'm a little disappointed because most of the main speakers of the conference are participating online. So they do things like stuffing us all into an auditorium and then having the person speak on Zoom. And I'm like, Why the fuck are we having this? But, architecture wise, I would describe Antwerp as if you challenged a German person to build France. So, it's fine. It's totally serviceable. It's clearly European. It would be a good place to kidnap someone because they would have no idea where in the world they were.
Yeah. What street is this?
Just continental Europe. If you, much like the Czech Republic, like if you're filming a movie and you want to recreate one of the great cities of Europe, you can probably do it in the cheap in Antwerp. You'll get kind of the vistas. It's that mix of very modern kind of mid 20th century architecture for obvious reasons, and kind of old restored architecture. But it's also kind of done cheaply. Which is weird considering all these fucking diamond stores.
Yeah, well, around the corner, there's literally 12 of them.
Oh, there's so many fucking diamond stores next to me. I mean, I felt pretty safe because I was like, no one's gonna murder me when there's just a diamond store right there.
That was not my experience in Brussels, by the way. If you want to get to that later.
Oh, and by the way, all the street view is on a nice sunny day.
Oh yeah.
It must have been the one day a year. You walk around, but nothing really fits. They have a big cathedral, but usually a big cathedral is in a plaza. But it's just kind of there. It's here's the cathedral. They have a market square with a really imposing statue fountain thing, but it's just kind of there. It's here's the market square, and you move on. So there's individually cool things, but it's just if you don't turn down that street, you'll miss it. It's not a grand city. It's not a projection of power. It's just a bunch of shit we threw together, to the point where they have these things called guild houses, and they are literally old time Hollywood sets. They're like great Baroque facades, but when you turn down the alley, they're just bullshit. There's no big building there. It's just like a shitty ass building and a cool Baroque facade.
Well, this probably answers the question I was about to ask. Is it like the first time you play SimCity and you don't really know what you're doing and you just kind of throw shit everywhere without any thought?
It's not. Yeah, it kind of is like that. Like nothing. It's very organic in that way. Like it just kind of appears. There's the so-called city center, but I couldn't really explain to you what made it the center versus anywhere else.
Lots of streetcar stops.
Yeah. There's a tram, there's buses, there's cars, there's, it's just like it's like a SimCity demo where it's just like, here's all the kinds of things you can do, but there's no order to it. It's just kind of, let's put a skyscraper here and a church there and a shitty row house there. And like a big spindly metal and glass thing over there, and it'll all be good.
Botanic Gardens over here, right next to the hospital.
Or my personal favorite and my highlight of my entire trip to Antwerp, the zoo, which, if you look, is literally next to the train station.
those
I'm sensing a theme here.
Again.
I see it. Yeah, that's bigger than the city park.
It's a very big zoo, except it's a tiny zoo comparatively.
There's no street view inside the zoo, but there are some photospheres.
I had to decide whether it was more efficient to walk through the train station or around the train station to get to the zoo. I think I walked through the train station going to the zoo and walked out because the sun was peeking out from behind a cloud when I left the zoo. But the zoo is a great experience because it is one of the oldest zoos in the world.
Oh no, I know what that means.
I know what you're thinking, and you are absolutely right.
Oh.
So let's just play now. I should.
Do I have a sad sound on here?
I should say that they have modernized since 1843 when the zoo was founded. And
here we have a polar bear.
Actually one of the highlights is Friesland, which is Friesland, right? Which is where the fucking penguins live.
What flavor of penguin were they?
There were actually several kinds. There were king penguins. There were macaroni penguins.
Nice.
There was like another kind of penguin. It reminded me of Batman Returns, just the variety of penguins. The penguins were a highlight.
I got the zoo map here.
Hippo.
I've seen, so the rhino enclosure is on Street View.
Yeah,
and I want to comment that barrier seems woefully inadequate.
Yeah, I mean
1843 style inadequate.
I mean, they're not. It's not that bad when you're there. What I think is more troubling is the architecture that they've chosen not to change. So let me ask you a question. If I was going to ask you to design a house for elephants and giraffes, what would you design that house to be?
All right. Very tall ceiling with that's
correct.
Very tall doors. They can easily come and go.
And they did have that.
Because I assume there's an outside.
There is like a yard.
Then ventilation for the poop.
Yeah. So far, so great.
Oh, yeah. And then some way to feed them.
Okay, but you're missing a key detail.
So
light switches? I don't know.
Well, look, Tim does not have an eye for decoration, And I think
that's why he's in a black void.
That's right. Don't need to decorate. Just need to light it.
if I were a Belgian zoo that was founded betwixt the Ludwigs, I imagine, right?
Uh-huh.
I would make the facade as continentally African racist as possible.
I am going to give you full points, Dave, because the answer is you stick them in a giant Egyptian temple for some reason. And just to put icing on the cake, they were Asian elephants.
Oh no.
Doesn't even make sense.
Oh my God, they are.
It's a very interesting recreation of Egyptian temple, and you walk in there, as I do, and there's just
I see it now. I see it now.
And the elephant looks at you like, I don't understand why the fuck I'm in here. And I'm like, I can't help you. I also got to see lots of rare and exotic birds like a red cardinal from North America, porcupine from North America, a deer of some kind from North America. And that was, that was really impressive. They also had a lot of, Central African animals for some unknown reason. But the best part of the zoo actually wasn't an animal at all. It was this fucking statue. And to this day, I haven't looked up what it means. But it is a clearly late 19th century statue. And it's in this nice kind of central garden area. And it is an intrepid white explorer. He's very ripped, and his horse, and they're being savagely eaten by lions.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it by the lion pen?
One would assume.
No, it's nowhere near the lion pen. It's closest to the penguins.
All right. I see that there's a flamingo pline.
There is a flamingo pline. The flamingos were quite loud. I'll put a picture of this statue.
I gotta see the statue. Well, that'll probably be the episode image.
Oh no! Hold on.
Where's the penguin house? That's the real question.
The penguins are in two places. It appears.
There you go. That's the statue. I'll send you a better picture of the statue, Tim, for the thing. But yeah, it's just I'm not sure what's going on here.
Oh, they're definitely getting eaten by lions.
They're getting eaten the fuck by lions.
Yikes.
This is epic. I love this.
That's the most metal thing yet.
I feel bad for the horse, of course.
And it's in such a beautiful little park. So that is hands down the most brutal, epic, and metal thing in all of Antwerp. And the flamingos are a close second. Also, you'd be interested to learn that the Opera House is right there. Why is the Opera House right there next to the zoo and the train station? Well,
I've got an answer.
What? Okay, go ahead.
Historically speaking, it was very costly and dangerous to transport animals for live opera. So it behooved the opera companies to build their opera houses as near as possible to the city zoo in order to source animals for extravagant productions such as Aida, and others that would necessitate large onstage contingents of wild animals.
I mean, Dave is actually correct here. And originally the Opera House was the zoo's theater. So the zoo had a theater, and then they just decided to make that theater the Opera House.
To stick to zooing? I mean...
Yeah. They were like, we've had enough...
No, I think it's like King Kong. They bring him in, put him on the stage...
Charge everyone a nickel.
Yeah, throw them back in the zoo.
Now, this weird camel thing is on top of the Opera House when it was originally the Zoo Playhouse. Another good thing about the Antwerp Zoo is I've done some research, and unlike the Berlin Zoo, which is equally as old or a little younger, but still a 19th century zoo. As far as I know, there was never a human displayed at the Antwerp Zoo, unlike the Berlin Zoo.
Right.
So you can visit it with a little less horrible dread in your soul. So that's another good thing about the Antwerp Zoo. I would give the Antwerp Zoo 2 solid ears and 2 solid eyes. And
now, are we talking
flippers?
And I don't mean this any sort of human sense, but are those 2 Asian ears or 2 African ears?
I'm gonna have to give them African ears, even though there's only Asian elephants at the zoo. But as you know, the African elephant's ears are much bigger.
Absolutely.
So that's that. Yeah, and
how was the food? I'm curious about the food.
Real quick, it looks like they built that Egyptian temple in the zoo in 1856. So,
yeah, I mean,
they could not fucking wait to jam those animals into the Egyptian temple. It was clearly part of the original plan.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm telling you, like, they wanted a fucking Egyptian temple to put their elephants in.
Orientalism, and to an extent this does include ancient Egypt, was so in vogue in Europe in these years that I don't want to say, I'm going to say it's understandable that this would have been the design choice.
It's not surprising.
Yeah. Given the social, cultural, like, design fads of the era.
Do you know what an okapi is?
No.
So it's in the giraffe family. They have one in the Baltimore Zoo, actually.
I still haven't been to the Baltimore Zoo since moving up here.
We should do a podcast from the Baltimore Zoo. I love the Baltimore Zoo.
I am in.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring the kids.
Okay, so imagine a giraffe. All right? Now, shrink its neck to just normal animal neck size, and you have yourself an okapi. They were housed in the, quote, Moorish temple, unquote, which was a vaguely Orientalist Saracenic building. Not as impressive by any means as the Egyptian temple.
Heavens no.
But still, that's problematic. But they had built other things, like the aquarium. The zoo had an aquarium that was, I think, built in the 20th century. That was very aquarium-like. They've given some dignity to the chimpanzees and gorillas that live there. They have a much more kind of modern place to live. There was a frilled lizard. I've never seen a frilled lizard before. That was really cool. I've been wanting to see a frilled lizard forever.
What's a frilled lizard?
It's like this Australian lizard, but like when you spook it, it goes like.
Frank,
the velociraptors from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's what they ripped off in Jurassic Park.
Are you too old to remember the Rescuers Down Under?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, so we're talking Frank, who's about to be made into a lovely lady's purse. Got it.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Hey, it says here they used to have a dolphinarium called the Aquaforum, but I guess they realized that dolphins are bullshit. That's a different episode, though.
So there's a bunch of sea lions in the dolphinarium now.
Oh,
because
good.
Apparently, like, there's only some level of marine mammal enslavement that we're willing to take, and dolphins were the precipice. But fuck sea lions.
Yeah, totally. They can't communicate.
What else was impressive? Oh, there was a very sad koala bear. I think because the koala bear wanted to live in Australia and was instead in Antwerp in a little enclosure. And it actually had a sign that said, "Don't look at me." I guess because it was stressing out the little koala bear. Yeah. So, but that's the zoo. Okay, food, and by food I assume you mean beer.
I was also hoping for a fruit report, but okay.
Okay, well, I'll break it down. So, luckily for me, the first night I was there, I did enjoy some Belgian food, and we went to a brasserie. Or whatever it was called in a bistro, or whatever they called it.
It translates to brazier.
Yeah, a brazier. So it was a tit restaurant. And tits up Belgium. And I enjoyed some Vertel, which I believe is their word for carrot, and just some like beef stew and some frites, some fries, and that was fine. That was
okay. Tell me about the beer, because I'm going to interject a personal story.
Okay, all right. But luckily, I discovered that my path from the hotel to the university, there are a number of paths I could go, but one of the paths involved walking through Chinatown. So for the rest of the trip, I just ate pho and Thai food and Tibetan food. And there's a really great story I'll have to tell another time, where I ended up in like a Thai karaoke bar at like 3 a.m. And everyone in my party wanted me to sing Thai karaoke. And I really didn't want to sing Thai karaoke because I was tired and it was 3 a.m. So they would like bring the bartender up to me, and in English they're like, he wants to sing a song, and then in Thai I would tell them that like, they're drunk, I don't want to sing, you please ignore them. And then he would say okay and go back. But that's for another time.
Well, I'm looking at what Belgian cuisine is, and it's exactly what you'd expect. It's like a mix of German and French, but they got but listen to this. Filet Americain. Very finely minced ground beef eaten raw and cold. It's steak tartare.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went to a steak restaurant. The steak was pretty good. The frites were pretty good there. But again, mostly Thai.
How about pêche au thon? Or
that sounds way too French to be served in Antwerp.
Half canned or fresh peaches stuffed with a mix of, you want to guess? Tuna and mayonnaise.
No!
I heard the tone part and I was like, that can't be it.
Fuck.
Did you have any stomp? It's a potato that is mashed with vegetables, usually carrots or cabbages, often served with sausages.
I think you mean stomped.
We did have stomp because that had the Vertel in it too.
Oh, wait, one last one. Lokersa Paardenworst. Minced?
A sausage of some kind.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
I'll come back to what it is. Lokersa Paardenworst. It's minced blank sausages with peeled tomatoes, onion, celery, herbs, originally from Lokeren. Horse sausage.
I did eat horse. We're
jumping into November episodes, but he's gone again. I have also eaten horse, but I was not in Belgium. I was not in IKEA before you. I'm gonna beat you.
I want to clarify that the horse meatballs never made it to the United States, and secondly, I have also eaten horse, and also not in Belgium, and also not at IKEA.
All right, so but that's a preview for.
That's a full episode.
Yeah, that's an episode in November that's gonna air
for food. But I do need to give a shout out.
Yeah.
To my friend from Metaphoria who ordered the horse, and he was like, "This is real horse," and the Belgian lady said, "Yeah," and he's like, "Give it to me," and then I had some of his horse.
Nice.
Also inexplicably, a lot of people kept asking for IPAs, and I'm like, "We're in fucking Belgium, you idiots!"
Goddamned morons.
Now. What's the most famous kind of beer from Belgium?
Not that.
All right.
The monk one, the Trappists or whatever. That's what I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically, what style is it?
A double, triple, quad. Is it Belgian white ales?
It's a triple.
Okay.
It's a triple. So everywhere had their own triple. There are lots of different triples. Triples, generally tend to have 9% alcohol, and I figured
it refers to the grain bill.
Yeah, I figured out why. Because when you drink it after 1.5, you don't care you're in fucking Antwerp anymore. And you know what? Drinking 3 beers is usually what I like to call getting ready to go. But drinking 3 triples is the night. And that is why most of my nights in Belgium get kind of foggy and ended around 3 to 4 a.m.
Wow, but well, wait, you were there for an academic conference, which usually don't those start at like 8 or 9 in the morning?
Oh, yeah, funny you mentioned that. I definitely presented. They really hate me.
You're going like, all right, and today we're gonna be looking at this study.
Oh, it gets better. Conferences usually have like some social aspects too. So this conference had a conference dinner followed by dancing. The dancing went until 1 a.m.
I don't know. I don't get that. Like, I don't know. After sitting through a day of presentations, the last thing I want to do is hang out with these people, you know?
It can be fun. I mean, I'm sure when it's philosophers,
it 100% depends on what sort of conference it is.
Yeah. We go to very different conferences. Yes. I should point out. So the conference party dinner was billed to end at 1 a.m.
Okay.
I got to bed around 4. However, I was slated to present and did present at 9 a.m. Why? Wow. Because the organizers saw my name and said, "We hate this guy. Let's make sure no one comes to his presentation."
Was your thing controversial?
No, it wasn't. It was about
they just don't
anti-vaxxers.
Oh God.
It really was. It was good. People liked it. Well, the guy who was there liked it.
It's just one guy in the back.
He's like, "I'm glad I woke up for this.
I love you."
Actually, I stayed up for this. I'm going to bed now.
But yeah, so the triple, the triple is great. However, it messes you up because like when someone says, "Come on, man, just one more beer," they're saying, really, just drink 3 more beers at once. So that math adds up quick.
So Michelle and I, when we were on our honeymoon in Ypres, went to in Flanders Field Museum.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
Well, for anyone not knowing where this is going, he has made 2 extremely depressing metal references in one sentence. Woods of Ypres and in Flanders Fields.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
And boy, oh boy. So there's a museum called In Flanders Fields Museum, which is about the First World War. And what they do is they give you a headset when you walk in. And they're like, "Give us your name, your age, and your occupation, and we'll tell you what you would have been doing in the First World War if you were Belgian."
Dead.
Yes. It's a different pathway to dead. It's fucking crushing. And so Michelle and I went out to lunch afterwards. And I was just like distraught. And the restaurant that we went to offered a flight. And I thought to myself, be responsible. Get the flight.
No.
You're going to want to drink 10 Belgian beers, but you can't handle 10 Belgian beers.
You
get the flight.
In a gas attack.
Oh, God.
Right. So they bring the flight out, and I'm expecting like, a 2 or 3 ounce pour of each of these. No.
Oh, no.
They brought out 0.2 liters of each of them. So it's now at this point a full liter of beer.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So I did pass out in the restaurant, and and we had rented a car. Yeah, which Michelle ended up driving back to the bed and breakfast where we were staying, which incidentally was attached to the St. Bernardus Brewery. And if you're sensing a theme to our honeymoon, this was the portion that I planned.
Yeah.
So I know, Matthew, I know of what you speak when they say, "Oh yeah, just have one more."
One more. And you're like, I mean, at that point, there's always like, hell yeah. Yeah, so that's great. Another great thing, again, is like code switching. Again, because Flemish and English are so close, I had a lot of fun with it. And they were also having a lot of fun with it. So the common like restaurant way to thank someone is dankjewel, which most of the wait staff was translating to "thank you well," which I just thought was cute. The word for toilet is toiletten. So I would go up to waiters and ask for the toilet room, and they're like, "Oh, right there, sir," and I was enjoying that. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about Belgium. If one was planning to go there, I think you should go to Belgium. I think it's a lovely country, just like Delaware. Like you should experience Delaware.
Rehoboth is lovely. And actually, I want to interject for a second. For anybody who might be hearing this before October 22nd, 2022, you absolutely should experience Delaware, and specifically Brimminghorn Meadery, where your friends Eisenmore will be performing live, headlining our triumphant return to the stage and meadery, pouring one out in the old Mead Hall, October 22nd, 2022 at Brimminghorn Meadery. Everybody show up, get your your shield wall on, and buy some bottles of mead.
That's right.
So exactly what I was saying. Good things happen in Delaware, but at the same time, maybe don't plan a week in Delaware.
2 days is enough.
See some highlights, do your research, go to the zoo, take the train, drink some beer.
They'll let you march right through.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And or ride your bicycle.
That's not cool. That's not cool.
So while you were talking, I looked up bands from Antwerp that are still active. So there's 110 of them, so I'm not going to list them all.
Wow.
But I got
That's
some
impressive.
all from Antwerp. But I got some good names in here. Abrahamic Liars, Black Death Metal.
We can't review them because they sound NS.
Well, let's double check them. I didn't want to. Their lyrical themes are darkness, demons, and destruction.
Okay.
That's vague enough.
Diapolis. All right.
Okay, that's like the city of gods, I guess.
Is it Diopolis or Diapolis?
I don't know. I
Two
scrolled down.
cities.
How about masturbator spelled with MASTURBATOR with umlauts over the A, the U, the next A, and the O.
Wow.
Let's see. There were a couple more. There's Zwavel Storm.
I want to put Dave's fears to rest because the logo of Abrahamic Liars is a church on fire.
Oh,
it's clearly a Christian church with a cross, so you're okay.
That makes me feel so much more secure. Thank you, man.
There's Admiral Death Ship.
Holy fuck. I mean, if that was going on, I would totally
Ask them
be
to
all
send
in.
us promos.
And or a ride on your ship.
Yeah, I desperately want to do a metal promo for Admiral Death Ship.
There's Butcher, like butcher, but with umlauts over the U.
Okay.
Let's see. Riven, Funeral Doom. Svartheart.
Are they named after the video game?
Maybe. Yeah, Svartheart, which I assume is Black Heart or Blackness or something. Toxic Shock, Throat Snapper, Winter Blind.
Hold on. I have to get back to Abrahamic Liars for a minute. So, as I mentioned before, they their logo is a burning church. They also make matches. And Dave will be familiar with this. Dave, do you know the Fantoff Stave Church?
How could I forget?
He's aware.
This is what I thought the minute you said that they make matches. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I knew who their favorite fucking band is.
A famous wooden church.
What nuggets?
They have a picture of them with their matches haunting the Stave Church.
Unacceptable. So, brief tangent. I've been to Fantoft twice.
Me too.
And I've been once with Tim. But maybe I've been thrice. At any rate, one of the times that I went, I talked to the guy, like I was wearing my metal vest. And he was like, yeah, I saw you coming. and I talked to him and I'm like, do you have to deal with crazies and stuff like Burzum fans and whatnot? And he's like, I make them leave. If you come up here wearing a Burzum shirt, you're going somewhere else. I'm amazed that they managed to pick a day when he wasn't on duty.
Well, I mean, I'm sure in the photo you can only see the matchbox and their the hand. So they might be incognito here.
Yeah.
They're probably wearing like a Starland vocal band t-shirt.
So if I may circle back to Admiral Deathship, they have a single called Necronoma Quest.
Whoa.
All right, so there's also Destroy Humanity, Helldozer, Opium Heathen, The Reefer Wizard,
nice,
Skull Crusher, and Sound Chaser, which is funny because they relocated to Tenerife, Spain. You know, the Canary Islands where they had that horrible disaster with the planes in the fog?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they were chasing the sounds out of Belgium. All right,
that's incredible.
That's all I got. So scale of 1 to 10. That's the last. We always have to quantify everything here on Podcast Them Down.
Well, let's see. So a neutral country is a 5. And I'm going to I will give Belgium a 4.5.
All right. What if you were there for a day and a half?
6.
Nice.
I think what you do is your base Belgium score is a 7, and you deduct half a point for every day you're there. And yeah, I really think take 2 days, go to Belgium, go for 4 days, spend a day, maybe a day and a half in each city. Go to Antwerp for a day, go to Brussels for a day, go to Bruges for a day. Take the train up to the Netherlands, go to Amsterdam and go on your merry way, or take the train the other way, go to France, have a jolly good time. But yeah, really, I think, unless you live there, unless you're Flemish, or a Walloon, it's just okay.
All right. Well, until next time, Metal Nation, keep it Flemish.
Also, they don't know the word Matthew because I guess it's Matthias. So when you say your name is Matthew and you go to Starbucks, they write Matty.
In 5, 4, 3.
Hail Metall Nati! Today we talk about Belgium. And it's just okay. That's the cue for the fucking music.
And I hit the wrong button. Let's try it again.
Well, we're leaving all this in, though.
I'll put it at the end of the episode.
Okay, hold on.
All right, in.
Wait.
I'll put my thumb over the right button.
One more time.
Ready?
Wait, no.
Tell me when.
All right.
Yes.
Go.
In 5, 4, 3,